Playoff hockey's such a beautiful time, when a grueling 82-game schedule somehow ramps up in intensity. The pride, the passion, the stakes. Things are never greater in the sports world than this, where legends are made, where heroes are born, and when humiliation and painful defeat are pastimes. Every year brings 16 franchises with a chance at immortality. Who takes it this time? This might honestly be the best Stars team I've seen since the turn of the century. That's how loaded they are. Elite forward skill with strong defensive prowess. Youth, speed, and tenacity at every point of the franchise. A group that can roll 4 lines without skipping a beat. By the way, there's more on the way featuring Logan Stankoven and Wyatt Johnston becoming an elite player. For far too long as Dallas lurked in the shadows, flashes of brilliance undone by deep thuds. This has to be the year. No excuses will be had, not even for the DeBoer curse. Vegas is merely the first test of many that will come. Mr. Ottinger, it's time to emerge as your true form. We've seen it before. You know this. This campaign has been quite lackluster for your standards. If Dallas is to go far, and they surely can, they will need you at your best. Then, and only then, can the Great Southern Trendkill commence. Looks like Rick Bonus's message after last April's flop was heard loud and clear. The chaff has been separated from the wheat. Powerful two-headed monster in net is cocooned by quality structure in front and a balanced attack. Both the resolve and general vibe between this year and last are night and day. There's actually some pushback this time around. Tends to happen when you finish the season as hot as they did. Ironically, after a brutal cold streak, so you tell me. Middling special teams mask a quality 5-on-5, but regardless of others, this team lives and dies by Hellebuck. How potent he's been, I suspect they'll be doing some living along with their quality forward core. Worst comes to worst, Winnipeg will just laugh at the Kings for taking on their Dubois lemon. The pieces are in place. It's been ages since a deep run here. Feels like a bit of the luster has been taken off Colorado's exterior. Don't get me wrong, they're still an excellent franchise with talents rivaling the gods, but they've been flying under the radar this year. It might be for the best considering they can destroy people with their offensive prowess. Or destroy themselves with the injury bug or their skid to end the year. It's a grueling road for them up ahead. With questions in net in depth, there won't be any breaks. Their opponent in the first round? A team that just scored a damn touchdown against them last week. Nathan McKinnon's good, but he ain't that good. Things are murky indeed, despite their power. There are grumblings, however. Murmurs from the deep. Legends say that the captain could rise from the dead and make a potential return to lead the charge against his many enemies. It's a fantastic pipe dream, but honestly, you need them at this time of year. You need all of them you can get. Title defenses are a strange thing. Still have memories of glory fresh in your mind, yet it never satisfies. It's merely a temporary high, a drug that needs to be procured for the sake of addiction. Winning is potent. Their enemies eager to knock them off their perches even more so. Vegas is now the prime target in this endeavor. It hasn't been the easiest of years for them. Dreaded injuries have taken out plenty of their weapons, including Mark Stone. A violent roller coaster ride, despite the reloading and survival instincts. That February skid? Not good, boys. But that's what they want us to think. Everyone knows that shenanigans are afoot. The alleged cheating is rampant down there. They're not breaking any rules, but goddammit, it's a travesty. It's only a matter of time before the rug is pulled from under everyone because they allowed players to properly rest. Oh, would you look at that? Mark Stone is practicing with the team again. This will totally be responded to by the hockey public with complete acceptance and understanding. Absolutely no anger whatsoever. And the winner of how the hell did this team get so good this year is Vancouver. There's always at least one. Philly was close, but then they fell apart at the last moment. The Canucks have kind of tapered off as well, but that's more or less because their bottom six isn't scoring at a 20% clip. That and the Thatcher Demko injury robbed them of their full power. Not to imply they become easy fodder in the postseason, absolutely not. With their loaded top six in Demko, they're always a threat. But did they blow their load too early? Especially since Demko's injury, Vancouver's been more of a mediocre team as of late instead of a contender. I know it's been a while for the Canucks since they've been here, but you can't show weakness. Even wildcard teams can pounce on it. They should know that pain well. Remember laughing at them back in October? I certainly do. It was a shit show for the ages. One involving some of the worst goaltending in the league and a coach's head impaled on a pike. The rotting of Connor and Leon was very real indeed. So real that it retrofitted itself into a thriving beast, terrorizing all those around them. They might be the best performing unit in hockey if you exclude their god-awful starts. Yet their quandary is the same one as before. Are they merely regular season paper tigers or lions of April and May? Trends tell us that they're to be treated with skepticism until proven otherwise, but I keep falling for the bait. Look at everything on paper. Team depth and defense are stronger. The high-end talent's incredible. Connor McDavid hit the century mark in assists. Zach Hyman got over 50 goals. Wait, really? I want to believe, damn it! Will I ever learn? It depends. Main concern, does the goaltending hold up? Stuart Skinner's held firm, but visions of last year's postseason dud are still strong. It's time to stop teasing, Oilers. Get it done. Waiting for you to take that next step, Kings. Been in this budding phase for about 3 years now. We need to see more. Quentin Byfield's emerged. You have 4 complete lines. The mid-season coaching change did wonders for them. Best time to do something is now, you know. You have talent. Is it enough to get past one of the hottest teams in hockey? I don't know. That's the problem I have with the Kings. Their plans haven't come to full fruition. Samplings of an elite offense have been given, but haven't truly come around. Flashes of brilliance followed by an entire month where the team shuts down. I'm a cynic. Sue me. It's just a hunch I have about them. Been harping about their goalie tandem for months and I feel like I'm Chicken Little over here. Sky isn't falling, Tree. They've been a solid unit. They're playing behind the 1-3-1, the epitome of a short-term jolt. Even then, I just can't trust them. Congratulations on your blessing, Kings fans. Hold the steady automobile that can take you wherever you please. Relax in the faux leather seats as the automatic transmission hums like a bird. A sturdy powertrain offers a dynamic, smooth ride. No frills, but plenty of features to make the drive comfortable. Presenting hockey's Honda Accord. An unsung group that lacks the sexy aspects of their brethren, but is as dependable and efficient as can be. Did you expect anything less from a Barry Trotz unit? Molded in his image like a statue sculpted from steel. Not gold or marble, that's not practical. The only real thing you can wish for from this team is more power. The playoffs are an endurance run, and Hondas are good for that. But what about the teams they'll have to drag race? They have a weapon there as well. Soros is back to form. If he can keep it up, the Preds have the potential to steal a series or two. It's a big ask, but if there's any team that can do it, it's these guys. The hunger continues. Getting just close enough to smell the sterling silver from Lord Stanley's chalice is enough to make a man go mad. Florida knows the chances to get there are fleeting, and the element of surprise attack is no longer an option. Which is why it's intriguing to me that they become a suffocating defensive unit. Like the spider, they wait for their prey to fall into their trap. Then they feast. It's usually in the form of Sam Reinhart or Matthew Tkachuk. Having to tweak their depth hasn't made them skip a beat. And a repeat performance is the goal. You know what they say, though. Making it to a cup final is hard. Making it back there is harder. More wear and tear on the body from the previous run. More reasons to slip up in the grand scheme of the dance. Reality is often disappointing. Maybe they're the exception? 2019 Virginia. 2020 Lightning. 2011 Bruins. What do they have in common? They were redemptions of some of the greatest meme teams in recent history. It's a depressing reality for those of us who relish in them, but Boston will get another chance to do so. After whatever the fuck last April was, they'll take any success they can get. And not only have they succeeded, they've thrived under the best goalie tandem in hockey and an overall composed unit of quality. The only thing I've never understood is how they're doing this with a gutted center core. The best one's Pavel Zacha. Might explain why they lost the division this past week. If it's possible, there's even more pressure on them. Memes can be set in stone if failure is consistent. Considering their yearning for Bergeron and the traditional brutal Atlantic, I don't care about tradition, it may be a repeat performance. I think a certain part of Canada will relish in that failing again. Perhaps the entirety of their division celebrates alongside. Welcome to the Eastern Conference's version of the Oilers, where high-end talent reigns supreme. Is the defense spotty? Doesn't matter when Austin Matthews scores about 70 goals. The goalies are hit or miss and one of the least talented tandems remaining, here come Mitch Marner and William Nylander to fuck you up. Play an awful period due to said issues? Boring. The town of Toronto will make that up in about 5 minutes. And I might be underestimating them. They score goals like nobody's business. Their power play, deadly. Their celebration of boy wonder Kyle Dubas eating shit in Pittsburgh, insufferable. And that's how Toronto likes it. Preferably with a healthy dose of skill and flash. There's revenge to be had against their landlord. No opponent will be spared. Their families will mourn what was lost. No lead is safe. Dead serious, Toronto's games are cardiac. Doesn't matter if they're behind or leading by 3, it's in grave danger. Don't watch this team if you have high blood pressure. They'll find a way to raise it no matter what happens. The waves of time are unforgiving. You beg and plead for more life and moments in the sun. You want to bask in that glory forevermore, yet the tide will rise and wash you away all the same. It does not care for sentimentality. All you can do is brace for impact. Probably from Nikita Kucherov doing an impressive carry job for the franchise. The finest power play merchants in the land. From Stamkos' corner office to Kucherov's demolition crew. Too bad you can't do that for 60 minutes. Things are going to be quite the challenge this time. Despite their round of form, they'll be without key pieces in the lineup, mainly Sergachev. 5-on-5, they're a liability. If Vasilevsky isn't on point, it's going to be a long, painful road. Kind of like the buyer's remorse from the Jeannot trade. Unless they pulled old magic out of their ass, they reek of an early exit. Then again, every team has a chance in the playoffs, don't they? The Battle of Florida always leads to inspiring hockey. The world is yours. Or so they say. In New York, there's no time for sleep. Not when there's everything to prove. Especially after last year. No quit in New York? Prove it. Prove that your horses don't vanish in critical moments. Prove that you can properly support Shesty playing out of his mind. Prove that our skepticism, despite their impeccable record, is wrong. Loaded to the core with youth, speed, skill, and power, ready to punch your face off Matthew Rempe style. Somehow not really at even strength, but still formidable. The pressure's up to max levels now. And without Filipino, it'll be even tougher. But that may not even be the greatest obstacle they face. It's not even the opponents that want to shock the world. Unfortunately for the Rags, they've been stricken with a devastating hex. They have equipped the President's Trophy. Most that are in its proximity trigger certain death. In what way will be up to the beholder. And it's usually in agonizing fashion. Just ask Boston. So in what devastating, chaotic fashion will the Hurricanes bow out of the playoffs this time? There's one thing they're good for, it's throwing their fan base into a perennial Iron Maiden. No matter what talents they have on the roster, no matter momentum, opponent, or so-called easy road to the final, Carolina turns to stone at the worst moments. And most of it's in a valiant effort. Sisyphus with the boulder indeed. Perhaps this is the year it stays at the top? Those special teams units they have are the best by a wide margin. Every player in their lineup a special one. And now add Gensel and Kuznetsov to it. I'm going to be as clear as possible. This is the year. There are a shit ton of key decisions to make in the offseason, and they went all in for the first time in about an age. Even their god-awful goaltending situation got rectified from Freddie rising from the infirmary. On paper, one of the mightiest contenders. One that has everything to play for. An absolute devastation if they come up short again. The window's wide open. Let it fly. Isn't that dead? Holy shit, that's honestly impressive. Considering how god-awful everything was to start the year, the shit show on display at all angles, I was assuming they'd blow it like a third-period lead. Well, they would have in the Lane Lambert days. After they told him to hit the road, in comes Patrick Waugh to strike the fear of God into these men. It worked. The Isles are back to being the Isles. An unsung, balanced unit that molds into a hockey Voltron. At the head is the pair of artists in between the crease. Ilya Sorokin's pretty good at painting saves, isn't he? Fleshed from the carcass of many before them, Long Island's playing with house money. The greatest strength in the playoffs. Isles fans are stunned shitless, but consider it like Jon Snow after being stabbed by the Watch. Revived by magical spirits to exact revenge on his enemies. And then is most likely killed again thanks to their god-awful penalty kill. Maybe they caused Carolina to melt down? That'd be hilarious. Meet the Make-A-Wish kid in the playoff bracket. Team that has suffered ailment after ailment after ailment. An old core devastated by Ovi's ice-cold start to Nicholas Backstrom's departure to Oshie's decline to Kuznetsov flying away like his talent did. Injuries battering them at every turn while piecing things together with scotch tape. Sold off whatever they could at the trade deadline. A catastrophic losing streak that nearly took them out of the dance entirely. The worst goal differential for a team in the playoffs since the days of the Soviet Union. They have no right to be here. But in a testament to how pathetic this race had become, they snuck in through the back door. When it comes to one-goal games, allow me to use a phrase I reserve for a certain football team. The bullshit is real. Ovi found secret magical powers to do his best 2007 LeBron impression. His team depth is surprisingly good. Charlie Lindgren's out here using the power of friendship to stop every single thing in his path. The Caps should be thoroughly crushed in every sense of the word. That means they're somehow beating the Rangers, aren't they? I now want this to happen. As you can see, there are an endless amount of teams that have a legitimate claim at a championship. And the Capitals. We'll somehow outperform them all because that's how the playoffs go. But in terms of an actual prediction, who to jinx, who to jinx? I know a lot of you are fearing it, but accept your death with bravery and honor. There is no shame in moving on to the next season of life. For those of you in Dallas and Carolina, prepare yourselves accordingly. Your runs will probably be cut short. I'm so sorry.
Now it's 5-on-5. McDermott and Rempe exchanging blows. But everybody has gloves off at the Garden. DeAndre Miller and John Marino. There's only 4 officials. There's 5 fights. They're trying to break up what they can. Meanwhile, Rempe and McDermott still throwing them.